Rising from nothing to becoming the world's #1 CEO on the black market in his field, El Chapo is now a permanent resident of the world's #1 maximum security prison in Florence, Colorado. But given his unique history of breaking out of prison, will this supermax fortress be enough? Or could an escape plan similar to his last one in Mexico be enough to free him again? We'll find out today by going inside El Chapo's crazy escape plan that worked. On It's All Coming Together Now. What's the most intriguing part of El Chapo's plan to you? Let us know in the comments below. And please subscribe and hit the like button while you're down there. Being listed on Forbes' self-made billionaires list, Joaquin Guzman Loera had turned his narcotics trade from a teenage job into the biggest sprawling empire of drug trafficking in the world. In fact, 25% of narcotics that find their way across the US-Mexican border is accredited to Guzman's cartel, and Chicago has listed the organized crime figure as the first public enemy #1 since Al Capone. Where did Guzman start that led to such a violent life in crime? His upbringing was a factor. Guzman was born in the Badiraguato locale in Sinaloa, a region in northwest Mexico that was a breeding ground for notorious cartel leaders. His father, officially a cattle rancher, but also an opium poppy farmer, would physically abuse Guzman and his siblings growing up. By the time he was 15, he entered the illicit drug trade sector by starting a marijuana plantation with distant cousins of his. And by the time he grew to a maximum height of only 5 foot and 6 inches, many started calling him by his nickname, El Chapo, Spanish for short. His name may have meant something that's small, but his reputation in a short time became big, as he would start off with one cartel and then begin his own as soon as that one crumbled. The Sinaloa cartel, El Chapo's prized possession, was co-founded by the aspiring kingpin in only 1989. It would quickly become one of the biggest and most ruthless cartels on the face of the earth. Cartels are lethally confrontational with each other when it comes to control of smuggling routes and other matters. And Guzman's was no different. In fact, he had been known in his previous drug organization for killing his employees as head of logistics. This was as discipline for being late in fulfilling unlawful shipments. Running a tight ship was key in the narco underworld, and bloodshed was viewed as nothing less than obligatory. In an effort to subvert America's laws, the Sinaloa cartel leaned into its creative side, engineering catapults to hurl black market drugs over border barriers, hiding controlled substances in fire extinguishers and cans marked chili pepper, and building underground air-conditioned smuggling tunnels to keep its operations undercover. Then came his first arrest in 1993. One of the head leaders in the Catholic Church, a cardinal, was actually shot dead in one of these cartel turf wars. One of the sides to blame was Guzman's cartel. Authorities tracked down and found the rising crime boss hiding in Guatemala, brought him back to Mexico, and convicted him of conspiracy, drug trafficking, and bribery, which led to a 20-year sentence in prison. But such a prison sentence would not hold him for long. For the time he spent in there, maximum security prison was an 8-year vacation for the drug lord. He had protection from rival drug cartels, had corrupt prison personnel manipulated, and even still operated his criminal organization from his confinement. But one day in 2001, he decided to change the scene a bit. He walked out of the electronically secured cell, hopped into a laundry cart, and had a bribed prison guard push him down the halls to his freedom. The main man organizing his escape plan was Damaso Nunez, who joined the Sinaloa cartel after the escape, but until just a few months before the escape, was the prison's acting vice director and on the side of the law in the state's maximum security prison administration. After the jailbreak incident, the former law student Nunez would assume a new name for himself, El Licenciado, meaning the graduate, and join El Chapo's team. Life on the run was pretty easy for El Chapo, as you can expect. He had plenty of connections that helped his operations wax strong and keep him from the reach of legitimate lawmen. During this time, his cartel became the biggest smuggling conduit of marijuana and cocaine into the United States from Mexico and Colombia, and it additionally became the #1 smuggling conduit in the Asia-Mexico-US triangle of methamphetamine, bringing about the dangerous effects to all of the lives that crossed the drug. In 2014, authorities were able to infiltrate Guzman's inner circle, nab him, and throw him in Mexico's top maximum security prison, Altiplano. Here, El Chapo stayed for a total of 15 months, before another jailbreak on July 11, 2015. The official story, as of the publishing of this video, is that Guzman's men tunneled a well-lit, air-conditioned path that extended from a cartel-owned house to his shower floor over a mile away. The effort it took to dig such a tunnel would have taken months, with clods of dirt being placed on a DIY motor cart to expedite the ad hoc tunneling process. When the plans were ready, word came to the mastermind via a smuggled cell phone, after which he fled down the shower floor, traversed the well-lit tunnel on a railway motorcycle, and escaped via a safe house and a private jet. The state's version of the sequence of events involves Guzman's escaping without help from anybody inside government agencies. Ex-convicts who have previously spent time there, however, report that the prison keeps tight security measures, routine checks for hidden compartments, and grooming standards which all appear to not have been met according to the state's own CC video, which it released as proof of its narrative. Not to mention, parts of the tunnel route are concealed from the press. The official story leaves off with a drug kingpin leaving his climate-controlled tunnel system apart from the prison guard's notice. In due time, citizens of Los Moquis started reporting suspicious people driving around in armored vehicles in one of their middle-income neighborhoods and hanging out in a house armed to the teeth with high-caliber weapons. Something that was out of the ordinary for such a Gulf-side town. Mexico's central government surveilled this house for a month before launching Operation Black Swan, a coordinated effort by its federal police, army, and Marines to rush in and capture the fugitive drug warlord. After a brief shootout, leaving 5 of his best men dead, the kingpin of crime fled through yet another tunnel system to hijack a car a mile away. Speeding to intercept him, federal police identified and apprehended the suspect 12 miles south of Los Moquis. The chronic manipulator did what he usually did, offered them property, money, and lucrative jobs. But the 4 brave officers were unbribable. Unaccustomed to their reaction, Guzman angrily replied, "You are all going to die!" The officers' higher-ups alerted them to the news that 40 assassins were en route to their location to kill them and free Guzman. They also ordered them to take refuge in a motel until backup forces, Mexico's Marines, could arrive. Once relocated on the outskirts of town, each side stood in the motel of interest and hoped that it would be their own backup that would come first. But as lights belonging to vehicles that were ready for combat came up the street, it was to Guzman's dismay that they belonged to the Marines. Joaquin Guzman Loera now sits in ADX Florence, the top supermax prison in the United States, a country where successfully bribing law enforcement sounds ridiculous, and the tolerance of drug cartels is unpalatable, both culturally and politically. It would seem that the political pull necessary to Houdini his way out of this slammer would be out of reach this time around. The lawman opposite El Chapo, who infiltrated his camp along an elite team of Mexican Marines, is Andrew Hogan. The lead DEA agent reveals what happened from his perspective during the 8-year-long manhunt which brought Shorty down in his highly rated nonfiction story, Hunting El Chapo, available online. If you buy his book via the link below, you can really help out our channel and keep us producing more videos to help you say, it's all coming together now. Bringing down El Chapo's empire is a major goal for families affected by the illicit drug trade. If empire making piques your interest, watch our next video on the top biggest empires in human history. Or you can check out another video we think you might like. Either way, thanks for watching. like and subscribe, and as always, Vale mi amici.